I love when there are poetry projects that allow you to think outside of yourself. You can use the magic of poetry, of words, to be able to convey feelings. And then when you hear other people's stories, it's like, oh, that's the same thing I'm going through. You know, what do you know? We share this human experience. That's transformative. Most of my work are embedded in community. How do we define community, especially when you look at a state like PA? It's blue over here, red over there, and everything in between. The Kindness Project is a project that I was really proud to be a part of. There's a unifying piece.
Hi, my name is Giselle Bajeto Fetterman. I am Pennsylvania's Second Lady, and I am happy to announce a year-long campaign celebrating kindness.
The PA Humanities Council put a call out for people to share their experiences, whether through poem, words, you know, whatever, their situation, their everyday lives of kindness. And then I had an opportunity to take all of these responses and put it into a poem. Kindness lives here in this vast and tangled land. We know its good and steady bones, its grip and heavy hand. And it happened right in the middle of the pandemic as well, so it took on a different meaning for me. After we get past the people buying out the grocery stores and the toilet paper and all of this, you know that underneath that news story, there's the stories that we don't hear a lot of, all the things that we do for one another, to help one another. And that's what I wanted to convey, because that's what people were writing about. There's something about these projects that are so necessary in communities. The one thing that I found about PA Humanities, they're allowing the community in a lot of cases to lead the arts. They look to, you know, local artists and those who have been, you know, doing it for a while, but also leave room for emerging writers and newer writers and young people that 9 times out of 10 is reflected somehow in that community. So they're ensuring that there's authenticity, transparency in what they're doing in these particular areas. These younger poets, they're also giving back, wanting to use words directly, actively, to make a difference in the world.
Students are growing up in all of these janky systems between patriarchy and structural oppression, the redlining, the poverty, racism. All of it dampens our ability to be human. My role as a poet is to facilitate communication. And I think teaching poetry, you're also building up their muscle to be human. And the more you build up their muscle to be human, the more they can treat each other humanely.
All right, well, it is raining poetry in Philadelphia. A new citywide initiative is taking poems written by elementary school students in the school district of Philadelphia and bringing them to life through water.
The Rain Poetry Project gives young people agency to define themselves.
Poetry makes me feel alive.
Growing was like a part of the theme. So it started with me having them think about who they wanted to be in the future, and then drawing the type of world that needed to exist for them to be that person. I had them look at the images they drew and then write haikus based on that image. And they made stencils of those poems. The stencils were filled in with invisible paint, and when it rains, the paint appears on the sidewalk, which is where like the whole Rain Poetry name comes from. Each installation was done at a park, so like a central hub in each community area. Students are performing.
I have grown in art I have grown in confidence. I have grown in love. Zena Payne.
And then like the news is there. And so there are all these ways in which like there's this big show out that signals to those students, you matter, you're important, and we care about what you have to say. Because what you had to say is what is painted on the ground. There is so much power that comes with visibility. And so with tying it into Rain Poetry, with these installations, we are making the students visible.
You're expanding a platform for the voices of community members. And they realize the power of their words. They're the poet, they're the ambassador, they're the laureate.